The great return of Christopher Robin in the 100-acre wood. Life moved at a gentle pace. The trees swayed with the wind, the bees buzzed around their favorite flowers, and Pooh Bear, as usual, was thinking about honey. He sat on a log outside his house, humming a little tune to himself, when all of a sudden, a gust of wind blew through the forest, carrying with it a strange whisper. Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin is coming back, the wind seemed to say. Pooh's ears perked up. Christopher Robin? Coming back. He stood up, scratching his head. Oh bother, perhaps I should go check with Owl. He usually knows things. With a slight wobble and a soft hum, Pooh set off on his journey. Along the way, he found Piglet, who was, as always, doing his best to be brave while collecting some flowers for his friend, Kanga. Piglet. Pooh called, causing Piglet to jump in surprise and scatter his flowers. Oh, Pooh, you startled me, Piglet squeaked, holding his little chest. Sorry, Piglet, but I've heard some very exciting news. The wind told me Christopher Robin is coming back. Piglet's eyes grew wide with wonder. Christopher Robin? Really, Pooh? Oh, that's the best news I've heard all day. But how do you know? Did the wind tell you? Well, yes, but I think we should ask Owl just to be sure, Pooh said wisely, puffing out his chest. The two friends set off to Owl's house, making their way through the forest with Piglet nervously glancing over his shoulder at every rustling leaf, and Pooh thinking deeply about whether Christopher Robin would bring him a pot of honey. Owl's important announcement. When they reached Owl's house, they found him in the middle of a rather important task, rearranging his collection of wise books. Owl loved his books, even though most of them were upside down or backwards, which didn't bother him one bit. Hello, Owl. Pooh called up to the tree. We've come to ask you something very important. Owl, looking quite scholarly with his round spectacles perched on his beak, fluttered down from his tree and landed in front of them. Well, of course. I am always prepared to answer questions of importance, no matter how tricky or difficult they may be. What is it, Pooh Bear? Pooh looked at Piglet and Piglet looked at Pooh, and then they both said together, Is it true that Christopher Robin is coming back? Owl puffed out his feathers. Yes. I've heard the whispers on the wind as well, and not only that, I overheard Rabbit discussing it with Eeyore this very morning. It seems we shall have our dear friend back with us soon. Why, I was just about to prepare an official welcome speech. Pooh clapped his paws together. Oh, Piglet, did you hear that? Christopher Robin is really coming back. This is wonderful news. Piglet's tiny heart swelled with joy, though he was still a little nervous. But what if Christopher Robin doesn't remember us? Nonsense. Owl said with a grand flap of his wings. Of course he'll remember you. Now go spread the news. There is much to be done before his arrival. We must prepare. Tigger bounces into the fun just as Pooh and Piglet were about to leave. A loud boing echoed through the forest. Out of nowhere, Tigger came bouncing into view, his tail springing him high into the air as he somersaulted with excitement. Hoo. Did somebody say Christopher Robin's coming back? Tigger asked, bouncing in circles around Pooh and Piglet. Yes, Tigger. Piglet squeaked, spinning in circles as he tried to keep up with Tigger's bouncing. He's really coming back. Tigger landed with a big, happy bounce and grinned from ear to ear. Well, that's the bestest, bounciest news I've heard in forever. We've got to throw him the biggest, Tiggeriest party ever, with jellies, crackers, and bounces. But Tigger, said Pooh, I was hoping for some honey at the party.
Tigger left.
Of course, Buddy Bear. What kind of party would it be without honey for you? We'll have a mountain of honey. The excitement builds word spread quickly through the 100-acre wood. Rabbit, who had been carefully tending to his garden, overheard Pooh and Piglet talking and immediately began organizing a welcome-back parade. He planned to use his best carrots as decorations, although Roo was more interested in decorating the parade with colorful balloons. Kanga was already busy in her kitchen, baking a delicious cake for the celebration. Oh, Roo, make sure you don't eat all the sprinkles before we put them on the cake, Kanga said with a laugh as Roo tried to sneak a handful. Eeyore, sitting by his gloomy corner of the forest, perked up ever so slightly when he heard the news. "I suppose it's nice that Christopher Robin's coming back," he said. "I'll even pull a cracker at the party. Or maybe I won't. Who knows?" Even though Eeyore tried to sound gloomy, everyone knew he was secretly looking forward to seeing Christopher Robin again. Christopher Robin arrives finally. The big day arrived. The sun shone brightly in the sky, the birds chirped merrily, and all of the animals gathered in the meadow, waiting in anticipation. Suddenly, a familiar sound filled the air, the gentle ringing of a bicycle bell. Through the trees came Christopher Robin, riding his blue bicycle, just as they remembered. His smile was as bright as the sunshine, and his eyes sparkled with excitement when he saw his old friends gathered around. "Hello, everyone," Christopher Robin called, his voice full of happiness. The crowd erupted in cheers. Tigger bounced so high he nearly touched the clouds. Roo ran around in circles shouting, "Christopher Robin! Christopher Robin!" And Pooh, dear old Pooh, waddled up to Christopher Robin and gave him the biggest bear hug ever. "I've missed you, Christopher Robin," Pooh said, his voice soft and full of warmth. "I've missed you too, Pooh," Christopher Robin replied, hugging his friend back tightly. One by one, all of Christopher Robin's friends welcomed him with big smiles, warm hugs, and laughter. Rabbit gave a grand speech. All shared an ancient tale of velocipedes, and Tigger bounced around, nearly knocking over the cake with his excitement. After the celebration, Christopher Robin sat down with his friends in the meadow, enjoying honey, cake, and jellies. As the sun set and the sky turned shades of pink and gold, Christopher Robin looked around at all the faces of his beloved friends and said, "It's good to be back. I'll never forget the 100-acre wood or the friends who make it so special." And Pooh, sitting happily with a full belly of honey, smiled up at the sky. "There's nothing better than having a friend come home,"